What is happening? What is going on? Is it is. It's NOOCH Tiers. NOOCH has tears. NOOCH is not crying. Ogres have layers. Onions have layers. NOOCH has tears. Cakes have tears. NOOCH Tiers. All right, let's get right into it. These are NOOCH's tiers of characters in Lego Legacy Heroes. This is his first go around, about 3 months into playing the game, making our first attempt to make a NOOCH Tiers here so you can see who you got, who NOOCH need, where he ranks them. So very simply, got him means that NOOCH has this minifigure hero, has him leveled up to some level of usefulness, whether it could be a 7 stars and maxed out, it could be 3 or 4 stars, but able to use them in challenges or in the daily events. Need them means that NOOCH may have them, may not have them activated at all, but has not been able to use them anywhere and really needs to either level them up and move forward or find somewhere to use them in the game. So let's jump right in with our meh level. And the meh level is when somebody asks you, that's how these are all going to be. Somebody asks you, hey, is that minifigure hero? What do you think of him? You would say, meh. And that's where we are. So we've got, on the Gotham, we got Blacktron Dwayne. Everybody wants him to be awesome. He's probably the worst attacker in the game. Just doesn't do any damage. NOOCH is going to be trying to use him in the ghost hunting event just so he can show all of you that maybe it can be accomplished without gearing up Blacktron Quincy. So we're going to try and use Blacktron Dwayne in that event. But he really is just such a horrible attacker. And even when you throw other Blacktrons, he doesn't have, his specials don't really do much with other Blacktrons. They're just really not anything he does well, really. So we'll see if we can use him. On the Needham side, Hot Dog Man. NOOCH has Hot Dog Man. I don't know, a couple stars, not really leveled up. Doesn't see any purpose or any reason to level him up. Nowhere to use him. No purpose for Hot Dog Man in the game as far as NOOCH can see. Okay, moving up to the layer. That's somebody asks you, hey, what about these minifigures? And you say, And we're going to start off right there with Great White. NOOCH has actually been farming his node in Monolith Waste because it's got the gear set level up thing there. But there really isn't any use for him. He doesn't really fit into a Ninjago team as far as NOOCH is seen. Haven't really seen him used almost anywhere in game. But NOOCH has got him. Then we go to Crook Bart. So Crook Chuck. NOOCH's got to look at some of these names because these characters he doesn't have, he's not using them. So Crook Chuck, NOOCH used early on in Pip Town, got him to 3 stars, like level 25. And after that, hasn't really found a use for him. Even in a city team, you're not putting him in there. He has really low attack. He taunts and then just dies. He has really low self-heal. Not great. Clockwork became a character that was recently in an event, and we all got him. And you know, Bricko even did a review. There's just not much use for him in the game right now. Maybe there'll be some techie stuff down the road. Not right now. Cactus Girl, we all know. Fitness Girl, Poppy did get a rework. Maybe she'll become more useful, but NOOCH hasn't really had a chance to try and use his city heroes yet, so maybe she'll move up a level, but still doesn't seem great. And LeQuay, who everybody just says don't touch him, don't use him, don't need him. Why you got him? Okay, over to Needham. We got Chef. Let's just name these characters. NOOCH has not found any reason to use any of these characters or any reason to get them leveled up or go farm them. Maybe the Imperials will be good at some point, but NOOCH has not seen, there are no whales using Imperials as far as NOOCH knows. So we've got Chef, we've got Miner, we're looking Miner Clay, we've got None Such down there, we've got Mrs. Tierney, the Governor, we've got, what's her name, Lee Tierney, Yorick, the skeleton, who actually seems like he might have a little use in a spooky team, but we haven't really seen much for him yet. And Explorer Iggy. NOOCH has faced all these guys in different events and in Brickspedition and everything, and just they put no fear in your heart even when they're leveled up. So we got them in the section. Next section, this is our biggest grouping, which it should be right in the middle. And somebody says, what do you think of these minifigure heroes? And you say, yeah, they're okay. Nooch uses them, but don't get really excited. And starting off right in the middle there, we've got Calvin, right? Calvin. Nooch can't even remember. Nooch is so discombobulated at this point. Darwin, my goodness. Darwin and Calvin. Calvin is a theologian. Darwin was the anti-theologian. Huh. Okay, maybe Nooch has got something going on there. We got Darwin. We got Argenta. They're two really good pirates. You use them in the events. You use them for getting your weekly gold. You use them Nooch uses them in a lot of different places that require pirates or explorers. The problem is that they're both kind of squishy, even though Darwin has a good dodge. So, and you're going to use them to get Master Wu. So they go toward the top mainly because you use them in Master Wu and use them for the weekly gold event too. Next, we've got Barnabas, who is an effective tank. Just Nooch hasn't really developed a castle team yet, but he does go at the top because you need him for that. You need him for that master event to get Primo. Locust. Let's go to Locust and Valiant and Jester. Right there, the next three. There are three really good and very functional tanks that don't quite make it into the top tier because they don't quite change the dynamic of your team. But you do generally need a tank on your team, and one of those three, depending on the makeup of the team, is a really good way to go with a tank, and so is Barnabas. One level down, we've got Zane, Commander Cold, and Blacktron Quincy. All are really serviceable within their teams. Zane is good in the on a cold team, or he's good in a Ninjago team. He's really better in a cold team. It kind of looks like from what people are using him. So he's really flexible, but he's kind of just a solid member of that team. He doesn't really stand out on the team. He doesn't really make it run. Commander Cold and Quincy are the same thing. They're really good on a space team. Cold is good on a cold team as well. And they can help with healing, or we can do damage blocking with Commander Cold. They're good. They don't really change the entire dynamic of the team, so they belong right there in the middle. In our last row, these are characters that are just above, but just barely into okay. And we got Chicken Suit Guy. We know he's very good early on, but loses effectiveness as you move further in the game. We've got, oh boy, Princess. This is how much Nooch has used her. Princess Verda and Headley. So those are our castle guys that Nooch is slowly working up so that he'll be ready for the next time Primo comes around. So after we get done with space, castle and city are going to be the next priorities. Then we've got Naya, who works well in a Ninjago team, but again, doesn't really make it go. She's kind of there as support. And we got Sal. Sal is a really fun character. Nooch is actually looking forward to gearing and leveling him up. He's a really effective tank, especially if you put him with the This is where Nooch is struggling when he doesn't have these when he doesn't have the Arctic Ice Glider, which adds a bunch of health to Sal there as a city. So those are our Gothams. In our Needham category, we're over there with Basil, who's a really good combo with Will of the Witch and just a really good healer in general. We maybe want to have him at 5 stars, and we've just unlocked him, so we're kind of understanding what he's going to have going forward. Yeti, who is a really good on a cold team. Again, a really good tank that can serve well in a lot of different teams, but fits best into a cold team. So he fits right that top tier. Yeti and Yuppie. There we go. It's kind of alliterative, right? Yeti Yuppie. So Yuppie is a reviver that is a good function on your team, but he's not quite what Aurora is as a reviver. So he goes there in that middle tier, but at the top of it. And the next three, DigiJ, Primo, and Kartovsky. Nooch, these are 3 characters that Nooch either wants. We don't have Primo yet. And we do have DigiJ, even though it looks like there we don't. We took these screenshots before the event. Want to level these guys up and play with them, but we've really got other priorities first, especially right now. We got to get our space done. And Kartovsky's not in that space group because Nooch only has him at like 3 stars, just barely activated, and it's not worth leveling up because you can't use him in the event. Next row, we got Businessman, we've got Brutus, we have Castaway Carl, Castaway Hank. Right? So we got Hank, we got Egon, and Slimer. We're going to actually put the Ghostbusters in their own. These 3 guys, 2 of them are really good attackers, and Castle guy there. Brutus is really good for applying taunt anywhere he wants. So these are really good, useful characters. They just don't necessarily stand out. You know, people use Tank for the Woo event, but he doesn't really do anything for you that Argenta doesn't already do, and she's very free to play, and Hank is not. So these are characters we're working on. Then you've got Princess Storm, you've got the Zombie, the Crash Dummy, and Spooky Girl. Now, two of those are spooky. These are really interesting characters. They have got some interesting dynamics, like Crash Dummy taunts and gets counterattack. You know, Zombie revives. Spooky Girls just kind of Spooky Girls. Something they're kind of have like, you know, Storm taunts, but she's also an attacker. Spooky Girl gets stealth. So don't really know a lot about them. Don't really have them leveled up. Need to get them leveled up, but they're kind of pretty low, pretty far down the priority list at the moment because you don't really need them for any specific teams right now. Ghostbusters, they go here. Slimer and Egon are above the other three just because Egon has the ultimate. Slimer's a pain in the rear because he stealths every time he takes damage, and that's annoying. And the other three, Venkman, Ray, and Winston, go below them. We'll see as we get these team together. Nooch has a sneaking suspicion. They're coming back very fast, like 2 months later into their brick pace again. Nooch kind of wonders if the raid, if they're going to be really good in the raid. Like maybe this raid is going to be something the Ghostbusters are built for, because otherwise, why bring them back on such a quick cadence with the brick pace events? We'll see. We'll find out about that. Okay, that is the okay tier, right in the middle. Next, we move to Yay! Hey, do you like these minifigure characters? Well, yay, I do. These are characters on the ones that Nooch got them. Nooch uses them all the time. And let's just start with those guys. Kelvin. Nooch really loves Kelvin. You know, Nooch uses her extra 10% health for the whole team, her damage block, her pep removal, and the damage she does in general. She's a really good support to have on your team. Nooch even uses her in Arena. Then we have Kai, just the probably, well, maybe the biggest damage dealer in the team. Highwayman's up there too, but Kai just deals the damage, especially if you put him with like Garmadon and the Dojo. He can really do some major damage. Then you have the Hiker. Hiker is probably the best all-around healer in the game. He can be applied and he can plug and play into almost any team. He heals everybody up for the most AoE health heal in the game that Nooch is aware of. So he's a really good guy, really good support to have in your team. Master Wu, Nooch just got him up to 6 stars, is using him in Arena. He is a beast. And Nooch can't wait to get his Ninjagos leveled up and going. But Master Wu helped Nooch to finish off Pip Town with all gold trophies. So way to go, Master Wu. Magisto goes up here too. He's very similar to Master Wu. They're both magical. Their ultimates both deliver a lot of debuffs, although Magisto's also does damage. So they're both really good support units. Really, really good support units. And Nooch is going to have Magisto to 6 stars here in another week or so. So looking forward to that. Garmadon, even at just the 3 or 4 stars that everybody has him at, if you max out his gear and his player levels, he is a machine. You put him in that Ninjago team with the support of the rest of the team and the additional damage, he makes everyone hurt. What a great character, and looking forward to what he does. Nooch has really kind of enjoyed the release of Garmadon, where it's like 1 tile a day if you finish Brickspedition every day. So after 4 to 50 days, with a year and 3 months, you'll have him at a max 7 star. And Nooch imagines he'll be really useful in raids while he gets up to like the 5, 6, 7 star level, and in other game modes as they come along. And finally, Pirate Cook Bart. Nooch's first 7-star character, massive one shot heal for 1 character, does a ton of damage, applies debuffs. He's a really good character to have on your team. Now on the Needham side, for the yay, we've got Willa. Nooch has seen Willa work, and when combined with Basil, she is awesome. I mean, she takes the buffs and the debuffs and turns them into buffs, or turns the buffs into debuffs, or something like that. She is really incredible. Nooch is a long way off from getting her though, because we got a lot of things to do before we work on master tiles. We might have more access to master tiles here soon, but still, Nooch is not going to be farming extra tiles for a while to get to Willa. We've got Scarlet down there. Scarlet is heralded by many as the best tank in the game, and when she's on a pirate team, she is certainly a formidable tank. You know, if you put her there with Valiant with another tank, you can't decide which of them to hit first, and you can't go take out Redbeard first, which is what Nooch used to do before Scarlet came along as free to play. So Scarlet is a formidable pirate buccaneer tank, and Nooch needs her for sure. We've got the Highwayman. the amount of damage this guy does and the fact that he stealths so he doesn't have to take damage, he is awesome. Nooch borrows Highwayman twice a day in Brick Expedition every day for the first few levels. Later on, you want more tanks, but early on, you use Highwayman just to one-shot those characters, get them right out of the way. Then we go up to Gorwell. Gorwell is the best space unit in the game right now. We're going to see if Gens changes all that. But Gorwell applies these, what do we call it? It's the infection that she implies. It's not what it's called, but Nooch doesn't have her. She's not a very widely used character right now just because she is not super easy to get. You really have to, I think you have to pay gems to get her for the most part, or open bags. So it's going to be a while before we get Gorwell. She's supposed to become more available with the raids, but she appears to be maybe the best space character in the game right now. Firefighter Ash, the city tune, doing the most damage. She stacks up those stacks of fire. Again, Nooch doesn't know what they're called because Nooch needs them. If Nooch didn't need them, he'd know what this stuff is called, but Nooch needs them. So she stacks up her little fire things, and the more they stack, the more damage she does. I've seen a 4-star Ash take out like big ol', do 5, 6, 7,000 damage. So she is another beast that Nooch will be farming. Oh, we got Basil in there twice. Error. Nooch isn't changing it. We're too far in this video. We're having too much fun. That just shows you Basil's right on the border there of being a need 'em yay and a need 'em okay. Let's talk about Lloyd. So Nooch has Lloyd at 4 stars. He's viable, sort of, but not quite. I mean, Nooch knows, and the reason he's over in the Needham section is because people are using Lloyd in Arena, and Nooch is not going to put Lloyd in Arena at 4 stars. He was really good in Pip Town, helped finish that off. So as Nooch levels up Lloyd, he'll be able to use him in Arena, possibly, depending on how the meta changes over time. So Lloyd is a yay, need him, even though I got him at 4 stars, need to get him even higher. And finally, everything is awesome. We get to the awesome tier, reserved for the best character or characters in the game, the absolute best. And we can see here on the bottom, Redbeard is the beast in the game. When paired with the Forbidden Island set, he has a 50% chance to attack again every time he attacks, up to 3 additional attacks. If it's more than that, Nooch has never seen it. This guy is a monster. His base attack, his base ability does so much damage, and he can use it 3 times on 2 or 3 different characters. He just keeps attacking. He can counterattack when one of his pirates or buccaneers gets attacked. His ultimate does massive damage, is almost a one-shot wipeout for most characters in the game. Redbeard with the Forbidden Island with that last ability maxed out is the most formidable character in the game, period. And we go to the Needham side. Nooch has Aurora at like 4 stars, but does not have the Ice Glider leveled up yet. So we're putting her in the Needham because you've got to have the Ice Glider up to where you can use that 4th ability. Because as soon as that 4th ability is activated, she is going to gets a turn every time a character is defeated. So she gets a turn and she gets to revive them every single time a character is defeated. Nooch is not telling you anything you don't already know. Nooch has her high on the priority list to farm. As soon as the space event is done, we're going after City. We've been farming the Ice Glider. Now we're going to start farming Aurora. And that is NOOCH Tiers, the very first version for Lego Legacy, October 25th, 2020, NOOCH Tiers. Nooch too good.